I'm sorry, Bill Pullman, but judging by this movie's box office scores, this thing went quietly into the night. Independence Day Resurgence. I was really looking forward to this movie. The sequel to Independence Day, the awesome summer blockbuster movie about America and the rest of the world fighting aliens. Will Smith, Jeff Goldblum, Bill Pullman, and this movie's set 20 years later. No Will Smith, but you still got Jeff Goldblum and you still got Bill Pullman. You got some new cast members in there. You got a Hemsworth helping you out. Basically, we used the alien tech, the craft spaceships from the first movie, and we made some new advancements in our technology, but the aliens were also preparing. The aliens are back, and we gotta fight those aliens off. And look, I wasn't hoping for Saving Private Ryan with this movie. I just wanted to have a good time. I wanted to shove some popcorn in my face, clap in the theater, you know, the cool summer popcorn stuff. And did I do that with this movie? No, I didn't do that with this movie. This movie let me down in so many ways. Let's talk about the positives first. The main and only positive in this movie, that guy right there, that beautiful hunk of a man, Jeff Goldblum. Jeff Goldblum could be in a live-action CGI reboot of the Care Bears, and I would still enjoy watching him. There are some times when I just saw Jeff Goldblum walking around as opposed to the character of David Levinson, who's kind of doing his Jeff Goldblumisms where he's all, yes, and science, and aliens. What I did like is the fact that he has lived through this before. So like you saw it in the trailer when he's with Hemsworth in that plane, and he's saying like they like to get the landmarks. Some of those little nods and throwbacks, I'm like, hey, that was the summer popcorn fun I was looking for. And this movie had a couple cool fights in it. There's some moments where it just turns into a fat CGI mess, but then there's others where I was like, hey, this is fun sci-fi. And the first movie used a lot of sets and practical effects and models, and I think one thing that really helped that first movie was the fact that it was really our world. It was like, what if aliens landed over the roof of the White House? What if aliens blew up New York City? Because it was these landmarks and these locations that we recognized. In this movie, it's a completely different world. It's this whole what if scenario of like, what if we took that alien tech and weaponized it, and we made this whole other civilization. So at that point, it's not really the planet Earth that we know today, and so because of that, I don't think it's as interesting as the first movie. Another problem with this movie is it is just completely stuffed with characters. Starting out with the returning characters first, half of them didn't even need to be in this movie. You got Jeff Goldblum, Bill Pullman, Judd Hirsch, Vivica A. Fox, and Brett Spiner. Jeff Goldblum, yeah, he needs to be in this movie. Bill Pullman, sure, yeah, keep him in the movie. Brett Spiner is Professor Oaken. I thought he died in the first movie, but apparently he's alive. He kind of plays a weird part in this movie. I wasn't a big fan of a lot of the stuff he did. I say just kill him off, leave him on the floor of Area 51 back in 1996. So pluck out Bill Spiner, pluck out Vivica A. Fox, she didn't need to be in it at all. Pluck out Judd Hirsch, he just palled around with a bunch of kids in a school bus. Actually, Judd Hirsch's first scene in this movie was pretty funny. He's like promoting this book, like How I Saved the Human Race. He's promoting it in a retirement home. I thought that was funny. All of his other scenes, scrap him. Just make him like a cameo. So that is 3 wasted returning characters right there. Now if we go to the new cast, none of them really shined. Jesse Usher is playing the grown-up Dylan Hillard, who's Will Smith's son from the first movie. He's not really that great of an actor. He doesn't have the charisma that Will Smith had in the first movie. That's for sure. He's got kind of a conflict with Liam Hemsworth, who does what he can with this movie. And Liam Hemsworth isn't Marlon Brando or anything, but I think he's serviceable enough. The girl that got to play the president's daughter doesn't shine. She doesn't do anything in the movie. And there's also like a Chinese branch of the Earth Defense System. And then you got these African warrior guys who are palling around with Jeff Goldblum. And there's so many characters in this movie. And the first one had a lot of characters for sure. And they had all these different plots. Like you had David Levinson in New York. You had Will Smith in Podunk Nowhere. You had Randy Quaid in also Podunk Nowhere. But I feel like each one of those storylines was given enough screen time. The first Independence Day was a little bit longer. This one's about 2 hours. And it is a good length because I feel like the first Independence Day was a little long. But it's just like, fill this movie with more interesting characters. I don't need the 31 flavors of Independence Day characters. Just give me like, you know, let's say 3 good leads and, you know, 3 or 4 great supporting characters. And the movie's wrapping up, and I was like, alright, this thing was watchable, I guess, you know, nothing exciting. It did let me down a lot, but it's fine, no big deal. And then literally the last like 30 seconds of this movie, it does the most lazy setup for a sequel I've seen in my entire life. Like seriously, it was even lazier than like the Aragon ending. But after this movie, I don't really want to see a third movie. This movie was a cool what if scenario, like what if we took this alien tech, what if this alternate reality did happen. But now that I've seen the what if scenario, it didn't need to happen. If for nothing else, I'm kind of glad I saw this movie just because now I know that this Independence Day sequel that I've been waiting for 20 years was just not going to be good. So now I'm not, you know, waiting in anticipation for a sequel to happen like, oh, I can't wait for an Independence Day sequel, it would be so awesome. Nope, I saw the sequel. It happened. and it sucked. So let me know what you thought of Independence Day Resurgence in the comments. I'm hoping some of you guys out there liked it. But if you liked this video, go ahead and click subscribe. Check out some of my other stuff. I've got a whole another slew of videos coming in a little bit. But until then, see you guys later.